and let us all do we can to build a better future.
The second thing that I wanted to bring up, and actually this is going to be kind of a two-part segment, but the United Kingdom, not so long ago, decided that it's going to increase its nuclear weapons stockpile by about 40%.
Yeah, just what we need right now.
This is as people have pointed out, this is a reversal of decisions that were made back a while ago to actually reduce that nuclear weapons stockpile. But the UK has come out and said, nope, we feel a need to increase our nuclear weapons stockpile. And again, this is just shades of Cold War. Myself growing up in the final decades of the Cold War, and just seeing this happen again is incredibly distressing and confusing at this point. And from what I've been able to find out, basically Prime Minister Boris Johnson believes that there is a heightened risk of terrorist attacks and other kind of attacks on the UK, specifically called out were chemical weapons and dirty bombs. This, again, okay, a couple of things. First of all, nuclear weapons, conventional nuclear weapons as we know them, the idea there is they're supposed to be a deterrent. Yeah, the greatest nuclear warm film of all time was Threads. There was an activist who at one point shouts from her podium, "You cannot win a nuclear war. You play the nuclear war game, you're going to win a very stupid prize." So the idea is, yeah, nobody's going to bother the big superpowers or our allies, respective allies, because, well, you know, we could bring about World War III and the end of civilization. I'm not real comfortable with the fact that that's what's holding the world together. Yeah. It's a little unsettling, but okay, I'll take it. It's kind of sort of worked so far. But there are other risks involved here. And one of those risks is that the more nuclear weapons you have being produced, at great expense, by the way, the more people are involved in that process. So there's more people handling the materials. Yes. One of the reasons why we haven't had improvised nuclear device, a terrorist attack, for example, or even a dirty bomb attack, there's never been a dirty bomb attack, is that nuclear bomb weapons are made from nasty stuff. It is hard to get your hand on that nasty stuff. It's hard to work with that nasty stuff if you don't know what you're doing, because otherwise you're just going to kill yourself in the process. And it's hard to find the people who are going to be able to effectively create a weapon with that. It seems to me, though, that when you ramp up production, you increase the number of people out there who have knowledge and the ability to work with this material. And you increase the availability of that material simply because it's changing hands. And
remember, we saw that documentary that was talking about specifically. It always stuck in my mind, the Soviet Union, when they were creating uranium. They're like, if the output's within 3% of the input, no harm, no foul. Regular loss is part of production. And there's all the broken arrow incidents. There's all the times that a computer chip or dust has caused a computer on one side or the other to think that we should launch all nukes available. There was the one time that we launched, the U.S. tried to launch a satellite near Norway, and the Russians thought it was a birth stage ICBM. So I don't think we need to add more possibilities of this happening. And I'm reminded of the Fermi paradox, I believe, which is that if something has a chance of happening, given enough time, it will. Yeah. And so in this case, why produce more of the stuff that you're trying to, if Boris is worried that we're going to have a dirty bomb attack, probably not interacting and creating the materials needed is the better choice.
Well, and that's what I'm not understanding, and I'm going to have to, I just found out about this yesterday, and I'm going to explain how I found out about it, which is going to be kind of the second part of this report. But what I would like to point out is that the excuse being given here, the chemical or the dirty bomb attacks, are perplexing, because both chemical weapons and dirty bombs are horrific. They will cause a horrific amount of damage to human beings, human psyches, to communities. There's no question about that. However, they are local and they are controllable. I mean, a chemical attack, yeah, you have a chemical attack that happens. Again, like nuclear or radioactive substances, putting together a chemical weapon can easily kill the person who's doing it. It's nasty stuff. But once a chemical attack happens, it happens. And it's in that area, and it's horrible, it's devastating, but there's nothing worth risking civilization over. The same thing with a dirty bomb. And a dirty bomb is a radiation dispersal device. It uses a conventional explosive. It's not a nuclear explosion. So it's a conventional explosion that disperses radioactive material so that people get radiation sickness. Again, a horrific and nasty thing to happen. Horrible. And I don't want to minimize that, but the reality is it's highly local. Radiation loses its power very, very quickly. And, you've got a conventional explosive. It disperses the material. Bad things happen, but people will survive that. Civilizations will survive that. Why do we need more nuclear weapons when the UK is strongly allied with the US? Which has, of course, we've got plenty of nuclear weapons of our own. Something weird is going on here. And I am not satisfied with the explanations I'm reading so far. I am going to be looking more into this and hopefully have more of a report next week. I am not understanding this. And either Boris Johnson and his advisors know something we don't, or there's a far more sinister possibility here that was raised in a book published in about 2010 called Climate Wars, which suggested that rapid climate change was going to increase the number of climate refugees, and that Britain would actually be one of the survivors of that because it's an island and it has its Trident nuclear missile system in its submarines to make sure that other nations don't try to ship refugees off to the UK. Now, that is a very ugly thing to think about, an extremely ugly thing to think about, but the book was fairly well received at the time. And I'm not satisfied with what I'm hearing here. I'm just a dilettante. I'm not an expert, but something is not settling right with me, given what I know about nuclear policy. It's deterrent. It's not. Nobody wants to actually use those stupid missiles. Why are we spending more money at a time when everyday people need money? Why are we spending more money on a deterrent weapon when the primary risks are decidedly local? Again, horrific, but local. Something's not sitting right with me.
Yeah, I can't think of any scenario that would even come close to making sense where, oh no, he's coming with a dirty bomb, quick, nuke him first. That's not a thing that makes any sense at all. And then to your other point, it's very expensive to manufacture these.
Yeah.
It's very costly in a lot of different ways. Why are you spending money on that when there are so many other things to spend money on? And then my next question is this a military-industrial complex thing? Since the U.S.
What is going on here? I just want to know.
Yeah.
They've already got nukes. They've got the Trident system. All right? They are allied with the U.S., and I have this strange feeling that alliance is going to continue to tighten over the next years and decades for a number of reasons, mostly cultural and linguistic. This is not sitting right with me. Now, I want to bring to the second part of this report. I learned about this yesterday. This actually happened about a week ago, close to a week ago. And the reason I found out about it was not that it was being hidden in the media, but none of my algorithms were bringing it to my attention. Now, what I have done, I've been talking about media habits and media hygiene over the past month or so, is I now have a subscription to a weekend print copy of the Wall Street Journal and to The Economist. And what I've been doing is I've been reading these cover to cover, trying to read these cover to cover. And this week, for example, when I have my morning coffee on my back porch, I pick up The Economist and I'm reading it cover to cover, not in the way that it would be served to me on the Economist app or website where we know that there's an algorithm, but I've just been reading in there. And sure enough, in this section here called The World This Week, of the March 20th, 2021 issue, we have Britain published a review of defense and foreign policy. One surprise was a reversal of the decision taken a decade ago to reduce the nuclear stockpile from 225 to 180 warheads by the mid-2020s. Britain will now increase its arsenal by 200 to 260 by the middle of the decade, the first escalation since the peak of the Cold War when Britain had over 500. Official figures about operational stockpiles and deployed warheads will no longer be published. That's it.
Interesting.
And this is a British publication. That's it. But I was able to find out about this and bring this story to you because I read a print magazine and I read it I'm reading it cover to cover. So I'm finding these things that were not served to me by algorithm. The media is not trying to hide it. I've put several links to international publications. Bloomberg, DW, there's a lot of stuff about this in the media, but it's not being served, and I think that's fascinating. So I did want to bring that up to folks. I
want to read something from Little based on your magazine. That's a weird-looking tablet she reads from.
That's how old I am. I was carving into tablets when I was in school.
Setting typeset on the press and then knocking.
So any case, I've got some really interesting articles from different sources in the show notes. For those of you who are new, we always put our show notes right under the video, so you can check those out and do your own research, come to your own conclusions. Frankly, I'd kind of like to hear from you because I am stymied. This is making no sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, so let's leave it to the audience in the comments. Why is the UK building more nukes? And why are they building more nukes? I think we'll just leave it at that.
Russia is very angry, by the way. I can't
bet.
entirely say I blame them.
I'm sure this couldn't cause an arms race. I mean, the U.S. is rebuilding their stockpile, and we're spending $1 trillion because we don't have money for anything else. UK is increasing their stockpile by like a fraction of what the U.S. in. Like, that's the thing. It's like, what is the UK going like, man, I have this long-term policy strategy, but we need at least 40 more nukes to make it happen. If we don't do that, it's not going to work. I don't know. Like what?
This is not making sense whatsoever. I know that there are several organizations in the UK that are very concerned about this. I'm concerned about it. It's worth talking about. And yeah, that's where I'm going to go with this.